What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Quick Start webinar. If you're hopping on for the first time, my name is Noah. I'll be the coach, the host, and I'm going to be sharing with you some different tools and resources that are in the Private Money Club. How many of you, I'm curious, just before we get into it, how many of you have had a deal before, or maybe you have a deal currently, but and you know it's a good deal, like you know that, let's just say you're a borrower, right? Let's just say you're a borrower. You have a deal that you're looking at and you know it's a good deal, but you just don't know how to put together all of the information to put that information in front of a potential private money lender. Like, be honest with me in the chat box. Like, who feels like they could use some help in how to present and put together a package to put in front of someone to have them say, yes, I'm interested in learning more about this deal? Type it in the chat box. If you want to talk about that today, we can totally talk about that today, right? I have had that problem. Okay, cool. Yes, yeah. How do we structure? Okay, cool. On the flip side of this, how many of you are lenders? Yeah, like a pitch deck. Yeah, sure, Robert. Yeah, like a pitch deck, right? And this could be a pitch deck or information about not just your deal, but it could also just be about you and your company and your business, right? Like, how do you convey to someone that you're someone that can get the job done? You can finish the project, pay the interest, pay them back their principal, and do it all over again 100 times, right? How do you convey that message? At the same time, I'm curious with my lenders, how many of you have been contacted by someone maybe in Private Money Club, and it seems like they might have a deal, but you felt like they did a really poor job of explaining the deal and showing you the numbers. And because it was kind of put together, I don't want to use the term half-ass, but I just did, you said no to that opportunity. Has that happened to anybody? Has anybody been presented with an opportunity, but you just didn't like the pitch deck? You didn't like how you felt like it was kind of poorly put together or presented, so you said no to the opportunity? Has that happened to anybody that's in this group? Because we're going to talk about these things here today, and I'm going to give you some bits of advice, and I'm going to share with you kind of like what I do. I talked about this information on my class with the accelerator program last night, and so I'm going to hit on that a little bit too. Just, we want to make sure that we're setting the bar high here when we present deals and things like this, right? Or maybe you didn't even know what to look for, David said. Yeah, that's great. Oh, I'm so glad that you brought that up, right? It makes sense. It could absolutely happen. Yes, absolutely. So we're gonna set the bar. I'm gonna go over some things here for you guys and give you an idea of what to look for if you're lending, and also what to put together if you're borrowing. All right. Anytime I teach a webinar or teach a class, I'm real big on disclaimers and making sure that every single person in here knows that when I teach from the perspective of a real estate investor, because that's what I am. I'm a real estate investor. I'm not an attorney. I'm not a contractor or a real estate agent, financial professional by any means. I'm just a real estate investor, and I'm teaching others on this call what I do every single day in my real estate investing business. So if I share with you a case study, please know that how things went for me, it will never happen to you. Okay? Like, to be very blunt, my story is my story, right? I'm here to help you guys craft your own stories, right? And if I say, hey, look, this is how it worked out for us, we made this much money, or this is how that information was interpreted when I presented it, that's my story, right? You're here to develop your own stories. But every single person, if you've been on this call before, you know that the first step, the very first thing that we do when we want to become great at borrowing and lending is we surround ourselves with licensed business professionals, right? You guys get this? Give me a big oh yeah in the chat box. When I teach the accelerator class, which is a coaching program that I teach for Private Money Club, the very first thing that we talk about is going out and finding out who's going to be your licensed real estate agent, who's going to be your contractor, who's going to be your legal team that's going to conduct your closings and help you draft the paperwork, right? So we rely on our team to help us do the right thing. We insulate ourselves with professionalism. And if you are unsure right now, here's a tip. If you're on this call and you're like, I don't know who I'm going to use for my closings when I start buying houses and buying rental properties and things like that, go find someone. Figure that out right now, because a great private money lender is going to start asking these questions, right? So we want to do a lot of the legwork up front to put together our team before we even start practicing or before we even start giving elevator pitches and things like that to people. All right. Does that make sense? All right, cool. So those of you who are logging on for the first time, welcome. My name is Noah Harris. I am a real estate investor out of Columbia, South Carolina. My goal for you is what is the same goal that I have for my company, and that's a 100% track record with my private money lenders. And if you're on this call and you're a lender, someone looking to put their money to work, secured by real estate at great rates or at great interest rates, my goal for you is 100% track record. It's all the same, right? I would love nothing more than to go to Charlotte, North Carolina, November 8th and 9th at our Money Tank event that's coming up here in 57 days, and run into some of you and have you come up to me and say, Noah, guess what? 100% track record with my lenders, borrowing and lending, 100% track record. That's what it's all about, right? So if I can teach people on this call one or two things that help keep them safe in this business, oh man, it's worth it. I love that. This is absolutely a relationship-based business. All right, this is absolutely, I love it. Matthew right here, Matthew says, hey, lender here, and someone who has deals that needs lenders. You know what I mean? It's like you're on these calls, right? Network. Like, get to the live events. Dude, this is the big thing about private money, right? And so for those of you who are like, what is private money lending? What is hard money lending? Like, what's the difference between going to a traditional bank and a private money lender? Well, a private money lender is a person. Right? It's a person. It's everyday people like you and me, right? So we can build relationships and help people, not necessarily funds, institutions, and things of that nature, right? So there's a lot of benefits with working with a person when you have the trust, you have the rapport, and you can do this over and over and over and over and over again, right? And that's what we help people do with Private Money Club. Private Money Club is a platform where borrowers and lenders can connect, right? And start building those relationships, which is super cool. So lender-based. Every single time that we teach this class, just to do a couple housekeeping items, we start on time. We keep it real estate. Okay, so I know there's lots of different types of opportunities out there on this webinar here, and primarily in Private Money Club, what you'll find is it's real estate based. All right, so if you're on this call and you want to use private money lenders to fix and flip houses, to buy rental properties, to buy short-term rentals, mid-term rentals, small multifamily units, mobile homes, manufactured homes, you're in the right place, right? You're in the right place. And on the flip side of that, if you are on this call because you love the idea of putting your money to work and having it secured by real estate that's worth much more than the amount of loan funds that you have in the deal, you're in the right place, right? This is what it's all about. But as great as that sounds, there is more to it, right? There is more to it. We got to make sure we're doing these things to the best of our abilities, all right? If you have any questions, make sure you ask the questions in the Q&A section. I got my PMC team in the chat. So Jose, say hi one more time so your name is nice and fresh there so people can see that you are there. Okay, cool. That's my co-pilot here, Jose Harkin. If you have any questions, if you'd like to schedule some time with someone from the Private Money Club, I had a lot of people hit me up this morning wanting to learn information about Private Money Club. I have a small group that I run here in Columbia, South Carolina. It's really nationwide, but it's called the Re-Up Real Estate Group, REUP Real Estate Group, and we do a big conference a few times a year. And Jose, I don't know if you're in the Facebook group or not, and while I have you here, I would get in the Facebook group and just make some messages because I had a lot of people asking about what Private Money Club was. Reason being, I had so many people reach out to me is because I made a post in there that we have upcoming next Thursday, our monthly mastermind. And our monthly mastermind, which is for all the PM Private Money Club members, what we're doing is we're inviting people to present their opportunities to the group, right? So a little bit more on that later, but just to give you an idea of some of the things that we do. All experience levels are welcome, all right? All experience levels are welcome. If you're on this call and you're brand new, how many of you are brand new to real estate investing? Type it in the chat box here. If you're brand new to real estate investing, type it in the chat box. Kyle raised his hand. Thank you, Kyle. I love this. I love this. You have an advantage by being on these calls and learning about private money lending this early on. You know, I went years using hard money lenders for my deals. I love working with hard money lenders. it got expensive. It was harder to scale quickly because I didn't have hundreds of thousands of dollars for the down payments and things like that I needed to do the type of volume that I wanted to do initially. But you know what? If you can work with a hard money lender, work with a hard money lender, but at the same time you're having conversations with as many people as possible to become private money lenders. And then once your private money lender database is exceeds more than enough money that you need to fund your real estate deals, then you can drop off the hard money lending, right? That's kind of, but it's cool to see that so many people are on here new and they're learning it for the first time, which is awesome. How many of you are on here? Maybe you're looking to be a lender, but you're brand new to the idea, right? Someone referred you to this webinar. Is there anyone that's on here thinking about lending and being a lender? I love it. Cool. Awesome. In fact, let's do a roll call real quick. How many of you on the call right now are real estate investors? We're just going to call you borrowers. Type borrower in the chat box. Type borrower in the chat box. Let's see. I love this. This is probably one of my, hey Jamie, this is one of my favorite parts of the webinar here, when I just see everybody texting kind of like what they're looking to do. All right, cool. All right, that's fun. What's up, Derek? Good to see you on here. All right, cool. Wow, okay, still coming in. Now, this one's fun for me. Gene's like first in line. I like it. You know, I always meet people during the week. It happens every week because I wear Private Money Club hats. I wear like the t-shirts and stuff. And so people are always asking me like, what is Private Money Club? By the way, why do you think I wear the Private Money Club hat? And I wear the Private Money Club t-shirts everywhere that I go. Because I want people to ask me, what is that? What's with that little funny guy with the glasses there, the Monopoly guy? I'm attracting people, and that's inviting them to be inquiring about what this is, and it might be a great opportunity to give them my elevator pitch, right? Which is awesome, right? But all the time, I meet people all the time. They're like, "Where are these lenders?" Noah, you always talk about lenders. I've been using hard money. I've been, using my own cash. Like, where are these people? Like, who are these people? It's not a secret club, right? I mean, it is the Private Money Club, but lenders are common everyday people. So let's see it. Where are my lenders at? If you're a lender on the call, like Joe, like Steven, like Albert, Julie, Kyle, Brian, type it in the chat box. Just type lender in the chat box. Cool. I love it. And Kyle says, "Hey, I'm new, but this is what I want to do," right? Awesome. Hey, what's up, James? So it's cool. It's cool to see the balance there. And this is the essence of what the Private Money Club platform is, where we have some people who are the real estate investors, some people are looking to just be smart with their money and put their money to work, and they have an opportunity to meet. I know many of you are new to Private Money Club. Just do a quick roll call here. Are you a Premier member? Are you currently in a free account membership? Or are you brand new and you don't know what it is yet? Type it in the chat box. Let us know where you're at. If you're like, I have no idea what this is, I would just type brand new. Okay, all right, cool. All right, lots of brand new people. Some folks, Premier members. Kirk, okay, cool. Not a member yet. Free, but looking forward to upgrading. All right, cool. Yeah, for sure. So Private Money Club, it's a membership. Jose can put up a link and he can help you get enrolled and give you a tour. Jose does VIP demos for and rolls out the red carpet, can schedule a demo call with Jose. He kind of show you around. I'm going to show you today a little bit some of the resources in Private Money Club that are going to help you in your business. I'm going to give you some examples, and it's going to be part of our learning lessons here. But there's no excuses. Everyone on this call moving forward, when you sign off, should click that link and at least at the minimum be a free member. So in Private Money Club, it's free to join. The membership is limited on the things that you can do as far as like messaging and some of the tools that you can access, but you can get in there and poke your head around and see what it's all about. And I believe you can also post in the forums and things like that. So it is very valuable. If you're brand new, I'm going to give you a homework assignment. Go join for free, and then schedule a call with Jose and see if you want to become a Premier member in the club, right? Especially if you're serious about doing real estate, right? And doing this the right way. And I'll be 100% transparent with you guys. I got into teaching this stuff because I had friends that lost money trying to private money lend. Okay, and I take this very serious. When the owners of this company asked me to teach this class, at first I said, nah, I'm not interested. But then the more I thought about it, I was like, you know what? Like maybe if those people who were in my circle before had come to me and asked me about the documents that they needed. The reason why I see people lose when it comes to private money lending is whenever I ask them, hey, did you have the right documents? Did you have this, and this? And they said, no, I didn't know I needed those things. Okay, well, did you ask the borrower this, and this? I didn't even think that that was important. Okay, well, when it comes to the project, did you look at this, and ask for this? I all Noah, all I saw was that they were going to pay me 15% on my money, and I got excited. And they're on Facebook. They look like they know what they're doing, so I trusted them. Okay, and so I just feel like if we can learn how to do this stuff the right way, it can be an absolute beautiful thing, right? But there are some risks to it, okay? And rightfully so. One of the things that I teach my accelerator students, okay, so I teach a class, it's called the Accelerator Program. I teach it for Private Money Club. And one of the things I'm always preaching to them is to never become a motivated lender, okay? Like for instance, this is what I see a lot of, okay? And I see a lot of people who have their funds set up and ready to go. Maybe how many of you currently have like an IRA that you got through like Horizon Trust or some other company? Like you went and you got everything set up. Maybe you were on a virtual webinar with Private Money Club and you met the team from Horizon Trust and they helped you get set up with the IRA. Is that anybody there? All right. How many of you have your own banking system, right? Your IBCs, right? You're working that infinite banking concept that's like amazing that Private Money Club always teaches and talks about. Raise your hand or just type IBC in the chat box if that's you. I meet a lot of people who have their banking systems set up with their policies. Right, there we go. Now they're coming in. And what's crazy is, maybe they got into that and they paid down their debts and they got their cars and now they got all the stuff paid and they own everything free and clear and they're working the system, right? The money multiplier system. And now it's getting to the point where you're like, okay, I got to start investing and I want to make money with my money. I want to borrow at 4, turn around and make 15, keep the spread, pay down the debt, do it over and over and over again. And I just want to snowball my money, right? But a lot of people that I see with the IBC, here's my advice. Don't become a motivated lender. Like just because you're set up and ready to go doesn't mean you should. All right. We got to wait for the right person. We got to wait for the right deal. Okay. And hopping on these calls and continuing to educate yourself is going to help you. It's going to empower you to be able to make those decisions of when it's right to jump in the water for you, right? So there's 4 different things that we work on these calls and in my accelerator coaching program that I do with Private Money Club. Number 1 is credibility. Credibility. We're going to talk about credibility today. I'm going to teach you some things about credibility today. It's also clarity, right? Understanding what types of documents we need, understanding, how to look, underwrite a deal. Right? As a private money lender, you are your own person. So you have to have the knowledge around what goes into a real estate deal, right? We want to have the knowledge around what goes into a real estate deal, right? We want to be able to spot some red flags, right? And avoid the hurdles and pitfalls, right? So we need some clarity around that. We need some education around that, right? And I think if we have the first 2, credibility and clarity, then the confidence starts to come, right? And we can make decisions quickly and put that money to work regularly, right? Which is good. And then of course, the last is community, which is awesome. So Private Money Club has a tremendous platform. And I tell you what, for everyone that's on the call and you're brand new and you're getting exposed to this pretty early on in your real estate investing endeavors, I'm really jealous, okay? Because for a long time, I had to have conversations and hundreds of elevator pitches, and I'm talking to friends, I'm talking to family, I'm going to real estate investing clubs, I'm trying to build relationships with people that that just don't want to hear it, right? And I'm like, hey, how would you like to make a double-digit rate of return secured by real estate? It's worth much more than the amount that you have in the deal. And if people don't know what private money lending is, they're going to look at us like we have 8 heads. Right? Or as my friend Joe used to say, They're gonna look at you like a closed Waffle House. They're not gonna know what you're talking about. They're not gonna recognize what you're trying to pick up and put down, right? However, when you surround yourself with a community like this, everyone knows what private money is for the most part, right? It's the private money club. So I don't have to necessarily do elevator pitches anymore. I can just post deals, right? I can just talk about my business and it's a huge step that we get to skip, right? The elevator pitch, right? So a community, it's worth its weight in gold, right? So you're in a good spot here, okay, guys? I got a few questions. I do see them. I'm going to answer them in 6 minutes. I take a break halfway through. On this webinar, what you'll notice, I'm big about making moves. All right, so I'm going to give you assignments and different things to do. Yes, this is a free webinar. We do this every single week. I'll give you things to work on every single week. And for those of you who have been on all 32 of these that we've done over the last 31 weeks, you understand that. And hopefully you're implementing some of the things that we're talking about and doing. If you feel like you need a professional push, you want some hand-holding, you want someone to coach you through all of this. I coach a class called the Accelerator course. We're in the middle of one now, right on the end of it. Our next one starts September 30th. So if you want some help becoming great at borrowing, becoming great at lending, I got a new class coming up. Enrollment is happening right now. I think there's 13 students that are currently in our next class, and we limit it to 20. All right, so there's 13 spots already taken. We limit it to 20, and we start September 30th. We start in 2 weeks. If you're interested in enrolling in that class, Jose can help you. Just click the blueprint link there, or click on or call him directly, right? I believe that everyone after this call should create a private money club profile, a free one, right? And schedule a blueprint, schedule a demo with the team to learn how to take advantage of that. All right, join the club, get in there. If you haven't yet, and if you're more of a face-to-face type of learner, right? You like to shake hands and actually meet the lenders and meet the borrowers and meet the people that you're talking to on these Zoom calls. Money Tank event. That's our flagship event. It's happening in Charlotte at the Motor Speedway, November 8th and 9th. And they got all the information. Jose can help you out with that, hotel, all that stuff. But it's going to be an amazing time. It's actually going to be held at the racetrack in the media room, and we're gonna have a lot of fun with this. So if you have any questions about this stuff here, anything that's upcoming, I encourage you to make a move. At the very least, get on the next webinar with me next Thursday. Create your free profile if you're brand new, right? But if you've already created your profile, you like what you see, leapfrog and get the Premier membership, take a class, educate yourself, because there are a lot of people in Private Money Club. And for those that are educated and know what to say, how to say it, and you don't have to be a genius, but those that have the education, you can see who the accelerator students are within Private Money Club, right? They're not just they're not just talking the talk, they're walking the walk. They look and sound better, more experienced. It's really starting to show the cream is rising to the top. So here's a little bit about what we learned. I'll throw this slide up at the end too, so you guys have it. But yeah, next class starts September 30th, so be sure to check it out. 15 as of yesterday. Thank you, Jose. Sorry about that. I'm trying to stay compliant. Jose, so we got to get that number right?
Your real estate business lives and dies by the network and the connections that you make. I mean, after all, your network, well, it's your net worth. That's what you always heard, right? If that's an area where you desire improvement, well, Private Money Club, it's for you. PMC saves you precious time and money by bringing the real estate world, well, right to you, right in the palm of your hand. So get in on the action like so many others have by going to privatemoneyclub.com and sign up.
All right, so let's talk about this. I'm going to dive into some education here, and then we're going to practice our elevator pitch at the end of the call, okay? So I keep getting people, my accelerator students, right? Part of the accelerator program, take notes on this stuff. Take a picture, take some notes, right? This is good stuff. This is a slide I shared with my accelerator class last night. And I've decided to cover this on this call here too, because this is a problem. There are a lot of people who are trying to put together like packets about their deals, right? Information about themselves or information about their deals. And these packets stink. I don't know how else to put it. right? So, and I'm trying to figure out how to teach because there's a lot of stuff to teach here. I'm trying to figure out how to word it and teach it in a short amount of time in the context that we have to work together on this call. But think about this: if I had a real estate deal and I wanted to present it to a private money lender, what is the lender going to want to know? All right, or let's switch this around. If I was the private money lender and someone presented me with an opportunity to fund a deal, what do I want to know about that deal and about that person? Type it in the chat box. What are some of your ideas? What do we need to know in order to say yes? I had a student in the accelerator course. She sent me over. We were talking about a deal, and I review everything. I never say yes or no, but what I do is I try to empower you with questions to go ask the person that's presenting the deals and the opportunities, and then to see how you feel about that. And I give them assignments. They come back, right? And I'm kind of overlooking their shoulder, but I'm not there to say yes or no, but I am there to help dictate good questions to ask and help them feel confident in the decisions that they're making, right? That's one of the things I do as a coach with the accelerator program, help you feel confident in the decisions that you're making. And she sent over this packet, and you guys, I'm telling you, I have an 8-year-old son, I have a 10-year-old son, and my 8-year-old son, God bless him, I think that he probably could have put together a better information packet in regards to funding this real estate deal. I was so like, this can't be real. This is crazy, right? But what I realized, because it was so bad, like the font was like 36 point font, and it had like scope of work, and it was like 3 pages of 36-inch font, and I was like, what is this? Like, are they trying to add pages so it looks more impressive? When you're in like 6th grade and your teacher says, okay, I need you to type a 3-page report, and you're like, okay, great, and you get done typing and it was only 1 page, so you're like, oh crap, what do? You increase the font size, thinking that they aren't going to notice that you went from like 12 to 16, right? And now it takes up 2.5 pages. Well, this person did 36 font. It was a joke. And in my mind, I'm like, the lenders deserve better than this, right? So if you're putting together a deal that you wanted to get a deal funded, you can't just pick up the phone and call someone and talk to someone, right? That's the start. That's the process, right? Building the relationships, having one-on-one meetings, figuring out what their goals are, what your goals are, and what's going to be the perfect win-win and ideal situation for both parties. But when you have a deal, we got to put together a package that we can present where it's going to make the lender feel really confident in your ability to get that deal done. So if you're on this call and you're a real estate investor, right? So initially, like, I would have this information here is information about yourself, about the real estate investor. Okay, so before even presenting an opportunity to someone and saying, hey, here's the house, here's the repairs, and here's the comparable sales, do you want to do it or not? I would put something together that outlines you and your business and who you are as a real estate investor, who you are as a business owner, how your company works with private money lenders, right? So I'm gonna cover some of these things. Number one, I would absolutely have a cover page. Absolutely have a cover page. I would have a paragraph in there about like what your company niche is, right? What's your business model? What's your ideal house that you're flipping look like, right? Do you, my wife just got off teaching a manufactured home, mobile home Zoom call. Christy's niche is manufactured and mobile homes on land, right? That's her niche, right? What's the business model? She buys houses for 100, she puts 50 into them, she turns around and sells them for 250, right? All day, every day, right? What's the information about your team? Do you have a partner? Who's your contractors? Who's your real estate agents? Who are the real estate attorneys that are going to be conducting the closings and helping prepare the paperwork process, right? The mortgage, and all of these things, right? Why do lenders like to work with you, right? What does that look like? Are you painting a picture of what it's going to be like working with you and what that customer service, what that lender borrower experience is going to be looking like, right? Are you providing example loans that you've done in the past or example deals? You don't even have to do you don't even have to have, if you're brand new you don't, I wouldn't make up like, oh, here's 3 deals that we've done, right? That's a lie. I would never recommend that. But you could have examples. Here's an example of a loan that at 12% interest lasted 8 months and the loan amount was $200,000. In this example, the private money lender made blah, 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 right? Have some examples. Is there a section about what private money lending is? Lots of times if you're having conversations with people, they might not understand or even know that this exists. So it might be good to have a section in there about what private money lending is. Some of the frequently asked questions, right? Call to action. How do you want people to respond after reading what you've given them? Do you want them to call you, email you, right? Set up a time on your calendar. So all of this stuff is really important. And we haven't even gotten to the deal part yet, right? And then as things get a little bit heavier, so like the first, what is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The first, let's just say the last three I might leave off in my generic package that I hand someone. But the last 3 I might include when it's getting serious, right? When someone's like, hey, I'm really interested. Like if I was a lender, I would want to see a personal financial statement. I know there's gonna be people on the call that are gonna be like, wait, I'm confused. Like I thought private money, like they didn't care about credit and how much money you have and all of these things. As a lender, you set the rules, right? As the lender, you set the rules. With private money lending, yeah, things like credit aren't going to really affect you that much. But if it's important to you as a lender to ask the person what their credit score is, then ask them what their credit score is. As a private money lender, what's cool is, when I work with private money lenders, I borrow all the money that I need for my fix and flips. I borrow all the amount that I need for the purchase price. I borrow all the amount that I need for the renovation costs, right? But if a lender came to me and said, hey, Noah, can I have your personal financial statement? Because I want to make sure that if you miscalculate repair costs and you need to come up with an extra $10,000 for a foundation repair, I just want to make sure that you could do that. Yeah, that's no problem. I could put that together for you. I got it already saved on my computer, right? Also, LLC and entity documents. So as lenders, we are lending to, we want to lend to an entity. For many reasons that too much to talk about on this call here, I would not recommend lending to a person. Okay, now you're going to have relationships with people, and those people are going to be the owners and managers of the LLC, right? But when it comes to the paperwork, I'm not going to lend to someone and have it be in that person's name. There's a lot of reasons to that, right? But I also want to make sure that the person I'm talking to is associated with the LLC that I'm going to be working with, right? So I want to see proof of that, right? So you can have that prepared. Same thing with the tax returns. I'm almost exclusive with private money lending. I've never had a private money lender ask me for my tax returns, right? But again, as a lender, you are the bank. You set your own rules. So it's okay. It's on there. Chris Naugle has it on his list, okay? So don't be afraid to ask for the tough stuff. And you got to ask yourself, for my borrowers on this call, as you put together a package and say, hey, look, this is the deal. This is about me. And the loan amount is $100,000 that we're looking for. You got to ask yourself, is what you just put together worth $100,000? All right. You like that pause, Kirk? That pause was for you, right? if is what you put together, or James, I'm sorry, James, is what you put together worth, James, sorry, James, is what you put together worth the loan? As a lender, think about this, my lenders, my gosh, those of you that are using retirement accounts that you've had from previous employers, you rolled it over in your self-directed IRA and you're like, all right, I got to be smart. This is my life savings that I've worked so hard for. I want to make sure I make a good decision. And someone submits to you this package that looks like a 10-year-old put it together and doesn't even have any of this stuff. Pass. See you later. I'm moving on. There's too many good people in Private Money Club doing it the right way. Don't become a motivated lender. I'm going to share with you some documents in Private Money Club to help you build this and to use as templates. All right. So just hang on. Just hang on. No, I wasn't calling you out, Kirk. But James and Kirk should become best friends now that you two are going. See, a few quick start webinars ago, I don't remember where it was, James, but someone was making, James, remember maybe you remember, someone was making these very intense pauses, and it wasn't me. And I remember thinking with James, and we had a little laugh about it. back and forth because we're like, wow, these pauses, I thought my internet was going out, but this person was really driving home the point that they were trying to make by taking these nice long pauses. So I had a nice long pause there for James Kirk to really emphasize the importance of this. All right. It was Kevin Shortell. Thank you, Jose. Jose. Thank you, guys. All right, Jose, my co-pilot. Yeah, it was Kevin Shortell. Lots of great points. If you don't know about Kevin Shortell, look him up. He's got a great book, and he's an amazing educator in the note business. All right, here we go. Deal packet. So now that we have the deal, okay, now that we have a deal. So in my entire package, it's going to start out with the personal stuff, right? If I don't have a deal yet, I still have this put together, and I can hand this out like candy to people that want to meet with me or learn more about my business. But then once I have a deal, I've got the personal part, and then I've got a part that's all about the deal itself, right? If I have something ready to go. Now, this is not the end all be all. Like, as a lender, there are still things that you need to check off of your list that you want to verify from this person. All I'm speaking on right now is gauging interest and sharing an opportunity. Okay, so as a borrower, and this is easy. Once you have this set up, it's done, right? Let's work together. Like maybe block out like 2 hours a week for 4 weeks. We can work together on this. I'll help you build it, right? It's done. And then anytime you have a deal, you just plug in the numbers, you switch stuff out. It's easy, but put in the work now. If you're having problems, people are saying no or turning you down, or maybe you're a lender and you're not just quite sure about what you're looking, send them a list of what you want, right? Send them a list of what you're expecting to get, okay? And have them put it together. Sometimes people just don't know, right? We had a lot of new people on the call, and they're like, I'm not really sure what I should be sharing, right? And that's what I'm glad we're covering this. So with the deal itself, we're going to have a cover page. It's going to look nice, okay? I have a cover letter that outlines the deal and things like that. I'll show you an example of what I mean. Executive summary, which is basically going over all the details of the loan, right? Here's the thing. With the executive summary, I want to be able to look at one piece of paper and be able to say yes or no, right? And then flip the page and feel good about the decision that I'm making in my mind. So you got to remember, people are really, really, really busy. Like private money lenders are average everyday people. They might have jobs, families, things that they got to do or work on or whatever. So they don't necessarily have time to log into to online and go through Zillow and all this stuff trying to see if your comps make sense or not. All right, so I want to make sure I put together a packet that's real. It makes it very simple for someone to say yes. All right, a confused mind says no. So if your package doesn't make sense, it's confused as to why it looks like someone in elementary school put it together, then it's going to be a no, right? It's going to be a no. And to my lenders, if you're confused looking at something, I would say no, right? Until you have more coaching or you have someone helping you, they can help, articulate what's going on. It's best to pass. Some of the best deals you ever make are the ones you don't do, right? Comparable sales. So comparable sales, if I'm looking at a property, what's nice about private money lending? The best part about private money lending is that the loans are secured by real estate. And if we're doing this the right way, the loans are secured by real estate that are worth more than the loan amount that you're lending. How do you know that your loan amount is going to be worth more than how do you know that your loan amount is going to be worth less than the real estate that it's collateralized by, right? If you're a private money lender and you're looking at a deal in Texas, but you live in Florida, you're not familiar with that marketplace. So what we need as borrowers is we need to provide as much evidence as possible to justify our sales price, to justify our purchase price in many cases, right? And how do we do that? We work with licensed real estate agents. All right. So if you're a real estate investor, you're a borrower, you're putting together packages and you're screenshotting houses from Zillow, I promise you are failing. You're letting down your lenders. All right. So get with a real estate. In my mind, if I'm wearing my lender hat and someone sends me a deal and I see that if I don't know the person, I'm looking at their paperwork and they're sharing with me comps and it's just screenshots of Zillow and it's not from a professional real estate agent or realtor, I'm concerned, all right? Because I want to make sure that, hey, when you go to sell this house, are you working with a real estate agent? If you're going to work with a real estate agent when you sell the house, why are you not working with a real estate agent right now to help you analyze that market and be able to give you comps, right? So I kind of go like, my alarms start to go off, all right? A lot of the stuff that's being presented that I've seen, no offense, if this is you, if you've been putting stuff together, we just got to get better at it. We got to get better at it. You could have good deals, but the way that you're putting together the packages, it's like people are coming off as, the Nigerian prince just won the lottery and needs you to send them $10,000 so they can give you $500,000. It comes off like a scam. All right. So we got to do a better job of putting together the packages. And I always have pictures of the property. Why? We got to have pictures. We got to have pictures. Even if it's a house, if it's a property that's far from where you currently live, I still want to see pictures because I want to see that you got boots on the ground there. Right? We got to figure this out. And then I also want to see the tax card. So if I type the property address in the county website where the property is located, I want to see all the information that comes up about that property. Who owns it, the lot lines, how much of the property tax is, what's the tax assessed value, and all of these things here. All right. So I'm going to show you an example. A couple questions here I'm going to hit real quick, and then I'm going to show you some examples of what I'm talking about here and where to find some of these resources. I'm curious what the range is in rates and points in PMC lenders and what lower rates range would be when the Fed lowers the rates. Okay, so this is a great question. Thank you, Brian, for this awesome question. Brian is, I'm sorry, hopefully you're still on the call. This was 40 minutes ago. But he said, hey, I'm curious to what the rates are, and if the Fed lowers, what's going to happen, so on and so forth. I don't watch any of that stuff. I don't care what the Fed does in my real estate business. I need to kind of have an understanding for when I go to sell my places. I got to make sure I'm pricing them right. I got to make sure that the home buyer can afford the house, and that's another reason why I'm working with my real estate agent to make sure I'm pricing right when I go to sell. On the acquisition side, there's no discussion around Fed rates and what's the Fed going to do when I'm talking to my private money lenders. The conversation is much different. It's right now, if I'm talking to someone, right, and I'm just going to use James Kirk as an example because I see his name right here. If I'm talking to James Kirk and I say, James, let me ask you a question. How's your money working for you now? How's your money working for you now, James? And James says, oh, it's doing pretty, I'm in a high yield savings account. Immediately I'm thinking, okay, James is making, I don't know, maybe 3% or whatever that it would be. Either way, it's not good, right? And so in my mind, I'm like, all right, cool. James would be ecstatic if I was able to present him with a deal and I could pay him 10%, right, James? I mean, James just went from 3% to 10%, right? Or James says, hey, I'm making 5% right now. Okay, cool. Great. How would you like to make 10 instead, or 12, right? So I'm just asking him what he would be happy with. In my flipping business, I always try to go with a double-digit rate of return for my lenders. So I always try to pay them at least 10%. Most of the loans I'm doing are 10%, 12%, and the occasional loan higher than 12%. But a lot of that has to do with the conversations that I'm having with people. So if in Private Money Club, it's all about just talking to people and figuring out what would make them happy, right? If I'm talking to someone that's like super financially savvy, like Nathan Bazell, I know that Nathan Bazell has options where he can lend out at 15%. Right. So I know that when I present a deal, it's got to be a deal that makes sense where I can pay a little higher interest because Nathan Bazell is not going to look at it because he likes to make at least 15% interest on his money. Right. And I'm just using Nathan as an example there. OK, so it doesn't really matter too much what's going on out there. You believe it or not, the crazier it is out there, the better it is in Private Money Club. The better it is in a Private Money Club. Right. Yeah. And Robert says that means he's a hard money lender. I don't know about that. What about this? Let me ask you a question. So with hard money lending, it's just when I say private lending, it's a person. When I say hard money lending, I'm thinking institution or fund, right? There's someone that is brokering money for a company or a fund, right? It's different. And lots in Private Money Club, like you might find people that for the fix and flip projects, I pay 10% and no points for most of my stuff. But I pay that and people, I don't have to pay the higher rates because I've done a lot of deals. I have a really good track record and I put together my team, right? Lots of experience, things like that. If someone were brand new, they might be charged more because they haven't, put in the legwork yet, To show the process and gain their respect, right? They might be a little riskier in the eyes of whoever the lender is, right? So you could charge more points, you could charge a higher interest rate, whatever the case may be. We had this conversation last night on the accelerator call. Someone was like, well, what do you recommend? Do you recommend charging points as a private money lender? And I said, yeah, absolutely. If I was a private money lender, I would charge every single time I would try to get points. My strategy would probably be have a lower interest rate, like 9 or 10, but then charge 2 or 3 percentage points for every loan that you did. And it ends up being just the same, right? But more people will probably be drawn to you because they see the 10% as opposed to the 13, 14, 15%, right? Maybe we talk about that on the next call. Elevator pitch coming up. Got you, John. Is there a good day for borrowers to connect with the lenders on this call who are not in PMC? I'm not sure what the etiquette is. Or is there a good way? What do they say? Caveat emptor, or is that how you say it? Right? I mean, you can connect with anyone on here. That's up to you guys how you connect and do. Inside Private Money Club, I just feel a little bit better about it because there's a little bit more education that everyone has and so forth, right, Jamie? Oh, by the way, Jamie Wolf is a premier member in Private Money Club. And Jamie, if you have a deal that you're looking for funding on, next Thursday at 6 o'clock is our monthly mastermind, and we are doing deal presentations. So message me, Jamie, and we can get you set up to share your deal to the entire community, which is pretty cool. All right, yeah, you're welcome, no problem. All right, cool. So I'm gonna pull this up here. Let me show you some of the stuff I was talking about, resource-wise, that you can take advantage of. And I see people in Private Money Club that aren't doing this. Maybe they just don't know that they have access to it, right? And also, if you're a free member, I would hop on this so that you can start getting access to some of these tools too, so you can start building out better packages and better deal packets for people to check out and do. Okay, so can you see my screen? Just type, oh yeah, or raise your hand if you can see my screen. So inside Private Money Club here. Oh, Raymond, you want to be my friend? Okay, cool. I'll do that right after the call. All right, so inside Private Money Club here, under tools, there's something here called the Perfect Loan Proposal. So this is a really nice template. It comes in PowerPoint or Keynote where you can go in and edit. I'll share with you what mine looks like, but I took this Perfect Loan Proposal, customized it to make it mine, and switched out my pictures and things like that, my information. But this is a great template that you can use to help create that packet. Also up here, this property specification sheet. At a minimum, if the lenders, if you're looking at borrowers and they're presenting you deals and you don't feel like you have a lot of information on the actual deal itself, tell that person to go to the property specification sheet. All right. They even have a whole education on how to fill it out, right? And get them to fill this out and send it back to you, right? Pictures, repairs, details about what the strategy is, comparable sales. At a minimum, we got to see something like this to be able to start evaluating a deal. All right. Okay. So these are just some of the tools that you guys have to put this stuff together inside Private Money Club. I'm going to share with you mine, kind of like and what I do and how I use it. And it has all the bullet points here. Okay, it has all the bullet points that were just on those 2 slides, and then some. All right. So the first half we want to put together. Can you guys see my PowerPoint? Give me an oh yeah, or just type it in the chat. It says Private Money Lender Guide. Okay, cool. Thank you. So right out of the gate. And by the way, there might be some things in here that you haven't put together yet, right? So it's a template. Maybe you haven't put it together yet. If you haven't put it together yet, just come over here and skip it, okay? And again, what I told my accelerator students, again, if you want to learn this stuff with me in a small group, next accelerator course starts September 30th. I mean, these are the types of things that we talk about and work on, okay? So cover page, a section about us, about our market, about who we are as a company, right? About who we are as the owners of the company, snapshot of our company, what's important, and here's what we do. We always, in these packets, we are always putting the lenders first, okay? Always putting the lenders first. Like you look down here at the bottom, it says our number 1 goal is to create win-win opportunities for private money lenders. I'm putting my lenders first in this, right? I've seen packets that people are putting together and it's like my goal is to flip this house. And it's like, okay, that's great, but do you even care about the lender, or you just want their money? Because this is coming off the wrong way, right? Why sellers choose us. I have this section in here because lots of times private money lenders are like, how do you get these deals? Why do they choose us? Well, we give them a mortgage, deed of trust, promissory note. We list them on the insurance as the lost payee, what to expect when working with us. I got example deals, frequently asked questions. These are pretty much the same as they are in the template that's in Private Money Club. I didn't really change much in here. Call to action, right? What documents should I receive? And so this is the page about me. And then if the person wants my financial statement, I can fill that out and send it to them. If they want my corporate documents or my tax returns, they would go in this spot here, right? Information about the deal, cover letter, executive summary, my comps, right? Provided in a comparative market analysis format from my real estate agent. Okay, this is not Zillow, right? I got my repair estimates in here so they can kind of see where their money's going in regards to the repairs. I got my property tax card that's listed there, right? The lot lines and showing the neighborhoods and the drawings of the properties, pictures, so on and so forth. And then I could have my property specification sheet in addition to down here at the bottom. All right, so this is kind of the bar, right? So as a borrower, if you're on this call and you're like, dang, I'm not doing that, let's put in some time and effort. Go enroll in the accelerator class with me. Like, this is what we're going to work on. I'm gonna help you become better at this stuff. Okay. If you're serious about this, you gotta start asking yourself, is what I'm presenting to a lender worth $200,000? Is it worth $50,000? Is it worth $10,000? Or is it worth $5? Right? Because think about it. People are trusting you with their life savings in some cases. Like, the least you can do, that we can do as borrowers, is put together something that makes it easy for them to make a decision. Okay. All right. I'm going to pull up my slides and we're going to practice our elevator pitch, because we do that every single time. I know some of you are asking, hey, Noah, when we get into the elevator pitch part, it's my first time on the call. I want to make sure that I get that information. I got you. All right. So let's get into it. We're practicing the elevator pitch. How I teach elevator pitch, how I teach this is with different floors. Okay, I teach this with different floors. So when I think of elevator, I think of floors. I don't think of I got to get everything out in 30 seconds. All right, so like normally, like when you hear elevator pitch, it's like, what's your pitch? What's your 30-second spiel or whatever, right? How I teach my students is to take your time with this. This could happen in 30 seconds. It could happen in 3 hours. It could happen in 3 days. It could happen in 3 years. As I teach you these different floors, here's what's important to remember. I'm not the one pushing the button to go to the next floor. I'm not going to talk about what's next unless the person I'm talking to asks me. I'm not going to corner someone like, you got to hear about this. Like, private money lending's the best. Your 401ks stink. The stock market stinks. I'm not doing any of that stuff, right? I'm not telling people what they need to do. I'm explaining how the private money lending works. I'm explaining how my business works. And if they are curious and want to learn more, they hit the button and they go up to the next floor with me. All right. So one of the first things that we talk about here is what private money lending is. Okay. So lots of times when I'm talking to folks about real estate and things like that, the money always seems to come up, and I let them know, hey, I use people. Right? What do you mean? I use private money lenders. What do you mean you use private money lenders? Well, just like a bank. Those 4 little words down there are gold, just like a bank. So I'm trying to get people to understand that they can act like a bank acts. And just like a bank, it's a loan secured by real estate. If a bank gives you a loan to go buy real estate, they're going to have collateral, right? The house is the collateral. The real estate is the collateral. So it's important that we let people know, hey, look, just like you bought your house that you live in, you got a mortgage, you signed a promissory note, right? Insurance is set up, right? We do all of those things. So just like a bank, we do the same exact stuff, right? We file the paperwork, we do a closing with an attorney, funds are wired to the attorney or to the title company, right? We do everything just like a bank. And when people start to realize, oh, it's just the same process, I've probably already done this like when I bought my house, the light bulbs start to go off, right? And we let them know, yeah, just like a bank, just like a bank. We pay people anywhere from, and this is my business, I pay anywhere from 8 to 12% annualized interest. Each loan opportunity is unique. In my fix and flip business, this is our model. We pay anywhere from 8 to 12%. Each loan opportunity is unique. And I promise you guys, what's cool is I always do a spread. I don't say 15%, I don't say 8%. I always do a spread. And it gets them thinking. And there's this thing called optimism bias where if you say 8 to 12%, everyone's always going to think that they're going to make the 12%, right? Their optimism is taken over, right? So now people are thinking 12%, 12%, 12%. And when you start telling people, hey, you're going to be paying this crazy, stupid amount of interest, their minds are going to start, there's going to be alarms going off, right? Is this real? Is this real? Is this real? So the third floor is me starting to explain how we secure their funds against the real estate and how we act like a bank, right? So here are some of the documents that we provide. This isn't everything, but for communication purposes, I don't want to overwhelm the person that I'm explaining this to. We can dive deeper if I need to or if they want to, but I try to keep it big picture. So yeah, what we do is we give everyone a promissory note, outlines the terms of the loan, a mortgage or deed of trust that secures the loan against the real estate. I provide a personal guarantee, holding me personally liable, and I always take out insurance and I list my lenders on the lost payee, just like a bank. All right, right. Jamie, yeah, just message me on Facebook, Jamie Wolf, and I will make sure that you have the link. But you're a Private Money Club member, so you should get the link to the meeting next Thursday to present your deal. All right, so every single time. We're doing this every single time. Mortgage, prom note, insurance, personal guarantee, every single time. We're also going to ask as lenders for lender title policies and everything else that a bank would want, just like a bank, easy breezy, right? And all of this, here's the best part. All the documents are prepared and recorded by a licensed professional. Not only are we going to have this information prepared for you in enough time for you to review, just like a bank would want, we'll make sure that the real estate attorney or the title company that's handling the closing records the mortgage deed in the county where the property is, right? Now you have a lien on the property, the collateral, everything is good. And everything is done by a licensed professional. I take myself out of the equation, right? And I think that helps with gain a lot of respect because, when you were with friends and family, like, and you're at football games, you're having a good time. It's like, all right, do I really trust this person? Like, I like to have a good time. So I take myself out of it. I say, hey, look, this is my role within the business. We market to find good deals. I work my relationships with my private money lenders. Our real estate attorneys handle everything, all the documents, the recording of all this stuff, right? I don't do any of the work. We have contractors, real estate agents, you name it. Everything is done by a licensed business professional. My accountant is on our team, making sure we're doing everything good on that end for you as well, right? You following me here? So here's 4 floors. Now, some of this you're going to be able to spit out just like I did, but we got to practice this stuff, right? No, I don't expect anyone on the call to be able to just, if you're brand new to the Quickstart webinar and I called on you and I was like, name the 4 documents, I wouldn't expect you to be able to repeat it back. But if you take the accelerator course, you hop on this weekly call every week, you're taking good notes, you're going back, you're watching the replays, and you're getting everything dialed in, and you're practicing, right? You're going to be great at this. Know those last 4 slides like you're telling someone your phone number. All right, get that good at it. Get that good at it, because and I love saying this. Once I kind of, whether I'm wearing my lender hat or my borrower hat, I can tell people, hey, where else can a real estate investor borrow all the money that they need to fix a house without having to go to a bank? Where else can a person put their money to work at a great rate of return, have it secured by real estate that's worth much more than their loan amount, right? That's the beauty of private money lending. And when people really start to get this, they're going to want to start to learn more, all right? But it's going to involve practicing, right? And getting good, okay? Guys, we are over our time. I hope this was an informative webinar. Please, if there was any lesson from this webinar here, number one, and I'm sure whenever I said, if there was anything to remember, now like the AI chatbots are like finally taking notes, right? They're going to write this down. Make sure that the package that you're putting together to present the opportunity that you have to a lender is top notch, right? Make sure you put some time, effort, some thought into it, and try to put yourself in the lender's shoes. Okay, ask yourself, if I was the lender and I had 50 grand that this person was asking for $50,000, would I lend the money based off of what I'm looking at here? Like, are all the facts here, right? And it is okay to pick up the phone. It is okay to have conversations. It is, I mean, that's what this is, a relationship-based business, but Private Money Club does have the tools, resources to help you make those connections and help you communicate your message really well, right? And help you put your best foot forward. If you haven't done so yet, click the link. If Jose is still on the call, he can put the link in there for you. Schedule some time with a team member, have them give you a tour of Private Money Club and how it all works. Create a free profile. You got nothing to lose and everything to gain. The Mobile Home Take Action Challenge that's listed there is actually currently going on. That is a closed class. We do have another one coming up. But the accelerator course, we've got 5 seats left for that. So if you're interested in getting some help, I'd love to help you. And gosh, it would be really, really cool to see everyone in Charlotte at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, November 8th and 9th. That's right in my backyard. We'll be driving up. We'll be there Thursday night, networking and having a good time. And I can't wait to see all of you there. So awesome. Hey, good to see you on here, Janet Barnhill. Good to see you on here, Janet Barnhill. We were talking about you today, Janet Barnhill. There's a church that's being built down the street from us, and it's called the Amos Church. But I know that Janet Barnhill's nickname is Ema because she's a great grandma. And whenever I see that Ema's Church, I always think of Janet Barnhill, who was on this call. So funny that you popped in on this call. It's good to see your name in here. And we think of you every day driving down that road. You guys are awesome. Where do I get the information for November 8th and 9th? I know that. You can go to privatemoneyclub.com/moneytank, and you can check out the information on the Charlotte Money Tank event, and that is 8th and 9th. That Belinda right there for you. Yep. Good to see you on here, Belinda. All right, cool. All right, signing off, guys. Got to pick up the kids at school. Hope everyone has a great day, and we will see you next Thursday. Take care. Happy real estate investing, everybody.